A life without cravings, a life without binges, a life without cheat days and cheat meals is possible, is totally within your reach. You are not greedy. You are only malnourished and undercarved. This is the third part of my challenge, changing your diet for the next months at least, to live this reality, to trust that these foods I'm promoting over here and I'm about to share in a moment with you are the reason I live a crave and binge-free life, the reason I've lost 50 pounds and I keep it off, and the reason I don't crave any more chocolate and donuts, pancakes, and pizza. Hello, I'm Janina Vlad. I'm the founder of leanoncarbs.com. My mission with this channel and with my business is to help you adopt sustainably this high-carb, low-fat, low-protein, whole foods, plant-based, vegan diet, to reverse your chronic conditions, to prevent other chronic conditions, to live longer, to have more vitality, to sleep better, to have better digestion, better skin, and yes, to lose weight, to have a low and healthy BMI for the rest of your life without cutting down calories, without hunger, without cheat days, cheat meals, without appetite suppressants, without crazy exercise, to live a happy life. Yes, to love your life, to love your food, to love your body, and to nurture your body. Okay, 2 weeks ago, we started this challenge because I wanted you to not trust me, to see it for yourself. And I said, come on, I challenge you for the next weeks and months to adopt the way I am eating, to adopt this lifestyle. To see that cravings are just a symptom of an insufficient, of a deficient diet. And 2 weeks ago, I said for the next 7 days, you will change only the breakfast. To avoid feeling overwhelmed, I said change only one meal for a week. So for the first 7 days, we had new foods only at the breakfast. For the next week, that was last week, we had changed the lunch as well. And now is the time to change the last meal of the day, the dinner. What about snacking, you might ask? I will film a whole complete video only about snacking, although I touched on that subject in previous episodes as well. Okay, dinner. When you eat high carb, low fat, low protein, whole foods, the perfect dinner is based on starches, so complex carbohydrates. Because we had fruits for breakfast, remember? And go to watch the episode when we spoke about what to eat for breakfast. Simple sugars are the best at the beginning of the day. Yeah, they are the best. At the middle of the day, they are the best even for dinner. But it's more convenient to have starches. So complex carbohydrates, polysaccharides, for dinner. I have days when I eat raw all day long, so when I have fruits for dinner as well. But now it's about you. I don't want to scare you away from this lifestyle and believe that you have to eat like me. No, I eat like that because I enjoy eating like that. You are transitioning to this lifestyle to see and to feel for yourself. If you don't want to believe me and you don't have to trust my word, you have to try it and see that this is real, to adopt these plans, these whole plants, these high-carb, whole plant-based foods, to see for yourself the level of satiety and satisfaction you will have after meals, and how you won't crave anymore for snacking and other junk food, and for sweets, and for all this junk that is high in processed simple sugars. It's high in processed complex carbohydrates like flour, and it's high in oils, so highly processed fats, and it's high in animal products. To avoid all these foods that are very high in calories per weight, so are high in calorie density, the foods that are making us gain weight, actually the reason people are overweight and obese, they have too much calories per unit, per gram, per bite, per portion. So to avoid all those cravings, because people eat those because they crave them, and they crave them because they are lacking something in their diet, which are carbs and other nutrition that comes with these high carb whole foods. Okay, let's see the foods that you will adopt for the next 7 days for your dinner. The idea is to have the majority of your calories for this meal coming from starches. Starchy vegetables or other starches like whole grains and whole legumes. With legumes, it's difficult to digest them properly when you didn't eat until now legumes, whole legumes like beans and chickpeas and lentils. That's why you have to adopt them slowly, smaller portions like 100 grams of wet, boiled, cooked beans, lentils, chickpeas, peas, soy, or make them like a hummus, or peeled, like peeled lentils. Do you know those yellow lentils peeled? They are easier to digest. So you will have the majority of your calories for the dinner coming from starchy vegetables like potatoes, white potatoes, sweet potatoes, or yuca or ñame, whatever you want. They are easy to digest. They are great for transitioning and for the rest of your life. I still love potatoes so much. Besides starchy vegetables, other starches you can have in this transitional time are whole grains. Yes, whole grains are not to be scared. There are some whole grains that are easy to digest, like millet, quinoa, buckwheat. I don't love at all quinoa and buckwheat, but there are people that love them. I love millet. Oat, they are easier to digest than, for example, wheat. And rice. So have them whole. It's great for your start in this lifestyle. You can have as well white rice. It's not whole, it's not complete, was peeled, and can be better to digest in this time when you don't have enough families of these beneficial bacteria that help you breaking down the fiber. So having basmati and jasmine and other white rices, it's great for this time. Other than these starchy foods on your plate, you have to have non-starchy vegetables because they will bring you bulk. Look, the best composition in this time, the best arrangement in your plate is to have in your plates, because there isn't enough space only on one plate to have this dinner, in my opinion, and you will see, is to have a bowl with salad or with steamed vegetables or with sauté vegetables. I will give you example in a moment. And a plate or other bowl with these cooked starchy vegetables or whole grains with legumes or rice. So not whole grains, but grains, some processed grains with potatoes and others, like in a form of risotto. I will give you example in a moment. Having non-starchy vegetables with your starches will give you bulk, because if you eat to reach satiety at least 2 pounds of food, I eat 3 pounds, sometimes 4 pounds of food for dinner. So if I will eat 3 pounds only with rice or only with baked sweet potatoes, I will have over 1200 calories. But if in those 3 pounds I will have 1.5 pounds non-starchy vegetables and the other 1.5 pounds starches, I will have 900 calories. So having only starches, starchy vegetables and whole grains for your dinner, if you are like me and you eat a lot, will make you have an excess of calories. So you will overeat on calories. But if you are a great eater like me and you eat large volumes, yes, have that salad or that bowl with steamed, for example, frozen broccoli steamed, easier to digest in this transitional time. Have that with your, let's say, a salad of potatoes, and you won't overeat on calories. You will still have 3 pounds of food, you will still have satiety, so you will feel the fullness after eating these 3 pounds, and hours after finishing this meal, you will still feel full, satisfied. You won't crave. You won't binge. You won't go to the fridge for some good snack, something sweet in the middle of the evening or in the night. You won't think about food because you have 3 pounds of whole, complete, fiber-rich and carbohydrate-rich foods. And this is heaven on earth. When you have the fiber in as well with the water and the carbohydrates, yes, is the time when you crave no more. That's why we have to have these non-starchy vegetables. I hope you got it. Okay, now some examples of dinner for you to get inspiration for the next 7 days. For this part of non-starchy vegetables, you can have your raw salad with all kinds of lettuces with tomatoes and spring onion and red bell pepper, cucumber and others. Or you can have steamed vegetables. For example, you can have all sorts of crucifers, but frozen first. I already filmed a video with good practices to include in your transitional time. Go to watch that video. When I mentioned about having these non-starchy vegetables cooked from frozen, because when we freeze our food, our raw vegetables, the water will transform into ice and those crystals will break down the cellulose, so the walls of the fibers. After that, you steamed or you saute, for example, spinach or cauliflower and broccoli in a pan with some water for 10-15 minutes, and this part of the dinner is ready. You can have as well, and I had it a lot, especially when I was in that process of losing weight, carrots. They are starchier than other non-starchy vegetables. They have more starches, more calories, but they are great for this bulk of the dinner. So you can have a pound of steamed carrots. You cut them in chunks and in a pan with some water, 20 minutes, and is ready. After that, you sprinkle with balsamic vinegar, with soy sauce, with all kind and all sorts of plant-based, oil-free, and as low in salt as you can find. You can also dilute them with a little bit of water. This sauce and salsas and drizzles. You can also make something with a little bit of avocado or a little bit of silken tofu and other seasonings and spices and herbs and a little bit of soy milk. You take inspiration from internet. The keywords are oil-free, low-fat and low-sodium sauces to add some flavor to your carrots. But if you prefer your carrots like I prefer them, like that, with nothing on them, because they are freaking delicious. Yes, cooked carrots are amazingly sweet and are like, to me, like dessert. So that was other example. And in this part of the meal, where you have the starches and the majority of the calories, you can have potatoes, like I said. Cook them, mashed potatoes. This is one example of a dinner. So you have this salad or this cooked vegetables with mashed potatoes. In those mashed potatoes, you can add some sweet potatoes, and it will be even more creamier and amazing, your mashed potatoes. You can use soy milk when you mash them, and you can use salt. You are in transitional time. You don't have to be salt-free like I am. You can have salt added in your cooked meals until you die, and you will be fine. Make sure to be lower than 2 grams a day, so 2000 milligrams. The best is to be lower than 1000 milligrams of sodium per day. So mashed potatoes is one way to cook your potatoes. Other way is to have your potatoes boiled in skin or peeled and cut in chunks. And after that, make a potato salad. Sky is the limit. There are many ways to make this potato salad. One way, a simple way from my childhood, is to put onion, white onion or red onion, pickles, like cucumber pickles, yes, some olives. You are transitioning. Yes, it's allowed to eat 5-10 olives with this salad. Make sure to have low sodium olives. Or tofu. Oh my god, it's great to add tofu in this salad, like 100 gram, it's okay, of tofu with your 600, 700 grams of potatoes, boiled potatoes, or 2 pounds of potatoes if you are highly overweight. If you have more pounds of body weight to feed, of course you will have higher, greater appetite, so you won't be satisfied with only 1.5 pounds of boiled potatoes. And vinegar, what else you can have if you don't put olives, or if you don't put tofu, you can have avocados. Yes, have an avocado in this time, it's great, and you won't have too much fats. And a little bit of salt, and that's all. And you will see how amazingly tasty is that salad. But there are thousands of other potato salads. Again, take inspiration from internet. Oil-free, low-fat, low-sodium potato salads. Okay, the next way to cook potatoes is to bake them. You can bake them in 2 ways, 2 main ways. On wet or on dry. On wet means in a tray with a little bit of water and with other veggies like red bell pepper and onions and some tomatoes, but with some water, with some herbs and spices, and of course you can add salt, but no oil. The other way of baking potatoes was on this baking sheet, without water. So you cut them like wedges, chunks, not like French fries. You can have French fries in this style of baking them without water, without oil. But I love them to be creamier inside and to have more cream inside than that crunchy surface. So I love them in bigger chunks. And you can have turmeric on them. You can have spices and herbs, and at the end, you can use ketchup when you eat those potatoes, or make a guacamole and have those non-starchy vegetables with your baked potatoes and with that drizzling, with that dipping sauce. Okay, sweet potatoes. You can have sweet potatoes in mashed potatoes. You can have sweet potatoes in stews, and you can have sweet potatoes, yes, on that baking sheets, and bake them without water. They are great. They are like a dessert. The best dessert to me, yes, it's a whole tray of orange sweet potatoes. You can have risotto, because now we finished with potatoes. You can have risotto. You can have risotto made not only with rice, but with millet and mushrooms in your risotto, and even potatoes, like my mother used to cook. And in a moment, I will share with you this recipe my mother used to cook when I was a kid. This risotto that now is one of the dish I cook when I cook, and that it's turned into some kind of what's the word? Pudding? Yeah, because I bake this risotto to evaporate a little bit the water. You can have stews. You can have, like I said in the past, this stew made out of potatoes, sweet potatoes, peeled lentils, and other veggies inside. And they are great next to, of course, some white jasmine rice or basmati rice or other whole grains like millet, like quinoa, buckwheat, and whole rice. To me, baking potatoes is the easiest way to cook potatoes. So I peel them. Sometimes I don't even peel them. I cut them and in the oven, and that's it. In the time they will bake, like 30-35 minutes, I will make the other part of the dinner, which is non-starchy vegetables, the salad, or the sauté non-starchy vegetables. But if you have more time to cook, you can create this recipe, you can cook this recipe in a bigger tray, and you will have leftovers for 2 days. So you will have the dinners for three days in a big tray. So yes, it will take more time to cook. Like I said in the previous episode, I'm not a fan of staying in the kitchen and cooking. I prefer to do different things. But sometimes I do this, and yeah, it's food for dinner for 2 days. Because no, it's not only for me. Now we are traveling and I don't have a big tray. You will see that I used 2 smaller trays, but in there are 3-4 portions. The secret of this pudding is in onion. The onion will give the sweetness and the taste, that caramelized onion taste of the dish. My mother used to make this recipe with a lot of oil. And for the majority of the past years, when I was oil-free, I didn't eat this dish, because was always lacking something, that greasy oiliness. But when I recreated it and made it in this pudding state, so after cooking it on the oven, not oven, stove, on the stove, yes, I will put it in the oven, and that makes it easier for me to enjoy. And yes, it's tastier. If you consider lacks oiliness and for you it's not tasty, yes, you can use a tablespoon of oil when you saute the onion, but only for the transition time, and make sure you will get rid of it as fast as you can, because oil adds calories without increasing satiety. So you will eat the same big portion but with more calories, because one tablespoon of oil is almost 200 calories. So it's like an overload, an excess of 200 calories without more satiety. So you won't stop eating before because now you have already the 800 calories. No, you will eat until 1200 calories, and you'll feel the same level of satiety, but now you will have a surplus of calories. So use a lot of onion, use a lot of potatoes, use like a glass of rice, whole rice, and some peeled yellow lentils. This kind of lentils won't keep their form, so will create that mushiness, that creaminess in your pudding. They are great. You put then salt, you can put pepper, you can put other veggies and other kind of seasonings inside. I cooked this recipe with many grains, different grains, and with different seasonings. But the recipe I prefer is this one, with no seasoning, with only turmeric. No pepper and no salt, because I don't feel the need for salt anymore, but you can use whatever you like. You can try and see what's best for your taste. And of course, don't add too much salt. And after saute the onion until caramelized. So don't skip on that. We'll add a lot of flavor. It's amazing how caramelized onion will change dramatically the enjoyment, the taste of a recipe. You put the other things inside, you boil them a little bit, and after that in the oven. If you want the complete recipe, I will create a different video if you are interested into that. And in the oven for half an hour at a high temperature, 250 degrees Celsius, and it's ready to go. As you can see, you evaporate part of the water from the recipe, so you increased the density of the calories per portion. That's why you won't eat only this, because if you skip on the non-starchy vegetables, if you skip on the salad, and you eat only the pudding for the dinner, you will eat the whole tray of it. Because the tendency is to have that volume, to have 2 pounds of food in your stomach. And my tendency is to have 3 pounds of food. I am like that. It is what it is. So if I put 3 pounds of this pudding in my stomach, I will have over 1,500 calories because it's drier. Do you know what I mean? If you have a risotto from the exact same ingredients, you will have more water. You will eat 3 pounds of it, but you will have less calories because you have there some more water. So you will have less than 1,500 calories. But because we wanted to create the pudding, it's not every day, of course. Start the meal with non-starchy vegetables, with the salad, with tomatoes, with this spinach, sauté spinach with your drizzling. I love sauté spinach with some vinegar. It's one of my favorite food in the world. It's tasty, it's amazingly tasty. And you can have sauté kale, you can have raw kale. But at the beginning, transitioning to this high in fiber, high in carbs, whole foods, plant-based, vegan diet, digesting kale is not that easy, raw kale. So saute them, make them in a pan with a little bit of water, and after that add some drizzling, and it's far easier to digest. And that was your dinner. Now you have some ideas, you are more prepared for the next 7 days to start creating your meals, your dishes, your starchy meals, your dinners. And if you need more help, and if you find yourself stuck in the process, please enter in the comment section and ask for help. I will do my best to get back to you as fast as I can and as best as I can. However, and if you need even more help from me, you can hire me as your coach. You can find links to my services in the description box below. In the next video, we will go into chronometer to introduce all the foods now you have in your diet, from the breakfast to the dinner, to see the macros, to see the amino acids, to see the fatty acids level, to see how much fat are in this high-carb food, because people fear that they will be deficient in fats. That is crazy. No, high-carb foods doesn't mean 0% fats. So you will see, and we will talk more in the next video. If you are on this journey, and if you already adopted the breakfast, the lunch, and the dinner, and you live this amazingness of a life when you don't crave, please write in the comments and inspire others. This is the first step, and this is the first clue. This diet is the one. In my experience with dieting, in my experience with other foods and other food groups, I have never lived a life with no cravings on no other diet. So it's the first time in my life, for the first time in my life, in these past years, when I am a high-carb, whole foodist, vegan, when I don't crave. And people don't believe me. People believe that I use willpower and I'm a very disciplined person. And I'm not. It's just the food. It's in the food. When you are high carb, when you are hard carved, when you eat this amazing food that is high in nutrition, is the highest in nutrition per calorie. So you eat to reach satiety, a lot of carbs, a lot of whole carbs. So it's not only carbs, it's a lot of vitamins, minerals, polyphenols, antioxidants, fiber, and all the things that our cells need. Yes, you don't crave. It's simple like that. And you will see it. You'll see it for yourself. There is no need to take my word for granted. No, just try it for yourself. These are the first that will go, that will melt down, that will disappear, the cravings. The pounds on your frame, so the weight, takes longer. Sometimes you will be like me if you are after years of feeding yourself and nurturing yourself well. That means enough calories. Yes, and other things, but mostly enough calories. You will start losing weight from the first week. But if not, if you're coming after restriction, will take longer, and nobody can and nobody is able to tell you how long will you take. That's why this is the first cue you are in the right position, on the right track, on the right path, when the cravings will disappear. Yes, the pounds and the weight will disappear, will melt down as well, but takes longer. And in that time, you will see improvements in your energy level, in your vitality, in your digestion, on your skin, in your sleep, in your, way of living, your wellness overall, mental health. You will see them in the first month. You don't have to wait until you will be lean and skinny and happy to see the health improvements. And until then, please go to ask for a blood work before and after, because this is other reason you will trust more in this diet. You will crave more, you will feel better, but you will see the numbers, and your practitioner, your doctor, will compliment you for these better numbers. Okay, that was my video for today. Please subscribe for more videos like this, activate the notification bell, share this video with your social media, give me a like because I deserve it, and until the next time, please go to watch this video where I explained better why these fruits, vegetables, starchy vegetables, whole grains and legumes help you lose weight without calorie deficit.